This lecture is intended for fourth year classes and it is about the novel A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. It is presented by Dr. Haifa Muhammad Sharif. Now, the first thing we are going to talk about is chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 starts with Stephen Douglas telling his son a story about a cow that meets a boy named Baby Toko. Stephen imagines that he is the boy named Toko and that the cow is walking along a neighboring road where a woman named Patty always sells candy and sings an old song. Stephen's mind drifts to the song, which reminds him of the sensations and smells of bedwetting. Thinking of the bad smell reminds him of his mother's good smell. Also, we are going to talk about Stephen and how old is he? Stephen is only 3 years old at this time of the story. And as a child, Stephen perceives the world mostly through sensations of sight, sound, touch, and smells. The novel follows Stephen's imagination and consciousness, and Stephen remembered his mother playing on the piano as he was dancing, and Uncle Charles and Auntie Ryodan, Stephen's, who is of course Stephen's Catholic governess, clapped. We are also going to talk about the religious and political conflicts in the novel, and the story is going to tell you these conflicts that arise when Stephen, as a child, tells everyone that he wants to marry the girl next door, who is of course a Protestant girl named Eileen Vance. Stephen's Catholic family is shocked. Now he hides under the table and Stephen's mother says that Stephen will apologize. Another character that will reflect this conflict in the novel is Dante. She tells Stephen that if he does not apologize, the eagles will pull out his eyes, and Stephen makes a little song out of the threatening words. The reaction of Stephen's family about Eileen Vance is due to the tension between Catholics and Protestants, which was both religious and political. Now we are going to talk about Clongowes School. The next scene takes place 3 years later in the playground of Clongowes Wood College, a Jesuit Roman Catholic boarding school for boys, where Stephen is studying. Stephen is 6 years old and the boys are playing football. Stephen pretends to run now and then and kept on fringe of his line. He feels small, cold, weak, and shy. His hands were blue-colored with cold, and he kept his hands in his side pockets of his gray suit. Also, we are going to continue with Clongowes School. How is Stephen feeling? He is isolated and he does not actively play with the boys. The other boys seem rough and strong. Now, a classmate named Wells, he mocks Stephen's name and his father's job. The boy's roughness makes Stephen think of his kindly mother and father. He is tired of running around in the cold and he thinks of reading in the warm study hall. Now there are three main images that describe Stephen at Clongo: pale, sick, and chilly. The cold of the day reminds Stephen that a bully classmate, who is Wells, pushed him into a cold, wet drainage ditch, which is a cesspool, the day before. The cold also reminds him of his mother's warm fireplace and of Dante's interesting stories. Now the schoolboys are called inside, and Stephen was glad to go inside. Now this is the end of our lecture. I hope that you benefit from this lecture.